talk about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate and his brother, I believe, were arrested recently, and where they were like in Italy somewhere, I believe, is where
Where
this
was it?
happened, or
Oh, Romania.
Romania.
That's where he's living. Where he
And
lives now, I think.
yeah, that's where he lives, right? And he was arrested. People were saying that it was. This is the story I'm kind of confused on. Sometimes I like to come in, not knowing everything, so I didn't really look up that much. But I heard there's something like human traffic relating, and then I heard saying that it's not, that it's related to something else. So what do y'all think? I don't know if any of you
I
heard, starting with
from
Don.
from
The
from
story lost me.
yeah from what
Yeah,
I from what I'm getting from it, he from what I see, I don't know if anybody in the chat, if y'all know more about the story, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think bro found a loophole to pimping, to be real. So what he was
yeah,
doing, he was talking to girls, kind of like uh, talking to them, making them like him, and then he'd be like, look, I guess making them fall in love with him, and then after he made them fall in love with him, then he would be like, hey, start this web page, and or I don't know if he was doing this on OnlyFans or whatever, and he was kind of just making dumb bread off of them, you know what I'm saying? And they were calling that human trafficking. I guess in a way they really could call it that, but it's like one of them fine line type deals. And I feel like the government or Romania or whatever is going after him more because bro made dumb bread doing that, and it was a lot of girls. You know what I'm
right.
saying? But I don't know if, because I think there's reports of him sexually assaulting some of the women too or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. I just know more about the his loophole to pimping. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know,
Right.
but yeah, bro,
Yeah, that to me it
popped up
sounds
on it.
like some like modern day kind of cyber pimping, I guess, cyber human trafficking. So what about
Yeah,
you, Clay? Did you hear anything? You said just the story lost you kind of, but let me ask you this:
yeah,
like, do you
but
think? Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say along the lines, I pretty much heard the same thing. But what was the question you had?
Oh, I was gonna say, so but knowing the story and knowing like what if it is like how Don said, that kind of situation, um, do you think knowing his background and like the people that follow him and listen to him, do you think this would hurt his image, or do you think it won't really do anything?
I mean, it really depends on the severity of the situation because while they, if you do consider pimping, human trafficking, you know what I'm saying, or sexual trafficking, you know what I'm saying, not sexual, human trafficking, it I don't know, because for me, human trafficking, I feel like is when you're holding people against their will and then moving them and making profit
Apparently,
off of
it's
them.
not.
Nah, it's
That's
not.
what I
But
thought
I
too.
get, but
But then I saw
exactly. But
something the
now
other
that I'm
day.
understanding, that's what I'm saying. Now that
Yeah,
I'm
I guess
understanding
it's like
more,
as
like
long as you, it's
I
just
mean,
the same pimping, but you
Yeah.
doing it like more
right,
strategically, I
right.
guess.
But I just feel like, I mean, call it pimping, but to call it human trafficking just sounds a little too harsh. Because it'd be one thing if
Yeah,
he
no,
was
I'm saying
doing
I
it,
feel like
if he
that's
was
like
it'd be one thing if he was doing this to these women against their will. You know what I'm saying? The worst
yeah,
thing that he could be doing in this situation, it seems like, is making money off of them that they might not be knowing about. You know what I'm saying? And or he might not be cutting them a fair percentage or whatever the case may be. But regardless, they doing it, free will. You know what I'm saying? So
But
like,
you also got to remember though. Well, I mean, the only reason I would compare it to what R. Kelly had going on is because he was kind of mind messing with these women, right? Like messing with
were these
the
women
right.
young?
yeah. That's what I
But
was gonna
wasn't
say. That's
the
the only
sorry to
difference.
interrupt you, but
That's the only
wasn't
difference. Go ahead.
R. Kelly's only problem technically legally that these girls were underage? It wasn't.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
wasn't like
That
charged with
was
Yeah.
anything else.
yeah. So that was more of the difference. Them girls that R. Kelly was messing with, a lot of them was underage. Tate
Yeah.
is
But
doing
I
it.
get where you were. I get what you're saying though, because like that's what I was asking. So are these women in this situation? Do you know if like they may be like between the ages of like 18, 22, maybe 20,
They probably
24? Like,
I think
They're all old
yeah,
adults.
they're all older, but I
okay,
think it's more
yeah. So
on the
then,
line of if you know what I'm saying, because you know how they get when when it starts going to court and stuff. Were you coerced to do this, or did he
right, right, right,
was you know what I'm saying? Did he say
right.
and then also I don't know if y'all heard it. There was a supposed alleged voicemail that he left this woman and of him saying that um he was sorry about raping her, rape. Yeah, he was,
Mm,
but he said he don't know why he liked it, and that why he liked it so much. Now, I heard the voicemail. It sounded kind of fake to me. You know how people be doing them voice things.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're talking
It
about.
low key sounded fake to me, but with him going through that situation, if that thing floating around is definitely not good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like
sounds exactly like his voice, but you know how they be taking different words
Yeah.
from different podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
edit
so,
it, yeah.
it could have been that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah, for
crazy.
me, I feel like it's gonna be more of if anything, financial burden on him as far as what they can get at with his assets and his bank accounts and things like that. But I don't know, it's weird because like you said, what like Clay was saying, when you say human trafficking, in my mind, I think of literally physically taking people from where they are against their will and forcing them to do things
Yeah.
like
I ain't gonna lie. When every time I hear just human trafficking, I just think of like body parts being sold and freaking girls tied up.
Word, like
Got their wrists tied up in the house.
where girls tied up,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
like when a dude calls him and says, "Yeah, I want that one," you're like, "Go ahead."
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
that
think
type
of
of
when I
shit,
think.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like
So
that type
yeah,
of
no,
like
apparently you
it
don't even got to
just
be all of that. It just got to be you just like
yeah,
Don
bro.
said,
Like,
I
controlling
tell you what
someone
though.
financially running.
I tell you what
That's
though.
crazy.
Andrew Tate is tripping. I'm gonna tell you why, because bro really could have just, laid low. I feel like he brought too much heat to himself with all the media attention and him getting canceled, quote unquote canceled. And he brought all that attention to himself, became the villain or the most hated person, as he would say. And that
Yeah.
brought a lot of attention to him. And if he didn't have that attention, maybe he could have, you know what I'm saying, it could have slipped through the cracks. Because what he got going on, like a normal person that doesn't have a lot of media attention, that probably would slip through. Like nobody probably would have paid too much attention to it. But he really was making it hot. He was making it hot for himself. So
Right. Yeah, so we're gonna keep up and see what happens with Andrew Tate. He's been tweeting and still talking and stuff like that. So I guess he's okay, but we're gonna see what happens.